Welcome to the George FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll go over the first two official practice games, and they are Collingwood versus Richmond, and I've just finished watching Melbourne versus Carlton. So we'll go over those games, and I think this week is the most important week. I guess round 0 will be important too, but we'll see all the games. We'll get a better idea of best 22s and how players look and stuff like that. So always finding the balance. It's just a small sample size of practice games, but you know, back in the day, we used to get 3 practice games, so we used to have a bit better read on stuff, but now we get around 0, I guess, so it evens out a little bit. But very important week, and a lot of players I want to cover. And just a side note, I have lost my voice this week, so if I cough or whatever, apologies. I will sound a bit faint, but we'll do our best, and yeah, I'm fine. So we'll start off, we'll order by SuperCoach scores. We'll start off with Collingwood, Collingwood versus Richmond. So using DFS website, it's a great resource for us. And I've tried to zoom in, so hopefully you guys can see that on your phone or whatnot. We'll go over, I guess, Lipinski, half forward, played really well. Lots of disposals in link up, draft option. He could be a top 10 forward looking at the state of things because he looked really good, but role was not good. It'll be up and down, and it was a practice game, so it's a no. But I think he'll outdo his price. He's $390k. I think he'll go to he could make 60k or something, but probably wouldn't go there. And Nick Dacos and low time on ground. It's a bit just watching him, thinking I'm not going to pick him, and just watching how I don't think he even played that well, especially to start the game. Had a few poor. Had a really poor turnover early, and I don't know, was sort of just cruising, didn't get out of second gear. So, but regardless, he just racks it up at will in the CBA mid-roll now too, which he scores better in. I'll probably cave and pick him. I don't think Finn McGuinness is best 22, but they can always pull out that card for that game. So obviously, Hawthorn have got all those forwards that they've recruited, Gunston, Ginnivan, and Nick Watson. So it's going to be kind of hard to fit Finn in somewhere. So is Nick. He'll probably do 120 plus this year. What else do we have? I guess Tom Mitchell, not really relevant anymore. Schultz was okay. I think Kane Corns highlighted his big work rate, but not really an option. And Finn McRae is probably the other one here. Charlie Dean as well. We'll go over Charlie Dean. Came on late. Played well. I think the game was dead, so I don't know how much you can get a read on that, but his spot might be occupied by Billy Frampton, who I think Murphy might be up for a bit, so I don't think he's best 22. Might be a downgrade option for us later in the year, so I think they've got more in Frampton at the moment. I think, is Frampton filling in for Murphy, or is he best 22? Honestly, that might be a better one for Collingwood supporters, but not planning for Dean at this point, but looks like he can fill a role for them. Finn McRae came on, had a few clearances, looked alright, was able to run and carry a bit out of stoppage. He looked, I guess, when you come on late, you're fresh legs, whereas everyone else has probably run, in the fourth quarter, whatever, almost 10Ks nearly. So, a bit easier for him, but it looked okay. I think there's been time throughout the past few years where he hasn't quite looked at the level, but he just hasn't really got full opportunity. Looking at best 22, I think he's almost a guarantee to be sub in round 1. Just not really seeing how he breaks in with Pendlebury. Didn't play today, so he has to come back in. I wouldn't be planning for Finn McRae. You never know. He could, they really like this preseason, but they would have played him a full game, you would think, if he was best 22. So it doesn't seem the case. And I think he's a sub candidate, a high sub. Highly likely to be sub. Reef McInnes scored just a 15. Had a few good clunks up forward. So I didn't mind his game and came on late too. Don't think he's best 22 either, judging off this. But he can come in and maybe fill a role if they get an injury. So who are their togs? I guess I got Cameron Cox, one of those forward. McCreary was, I think, a little bit in the midfield. Who's their forward? I guess Johnston forward too. Low tog. Mychek, yeah. I guess if they want to play Reef, they could, but I don't think he's best 22 at this stage. Not going to score massive thing. He's basically key forward or third tall, so yeah. Well, moving on to Richmond. Richmond, a little bit to take away from this. Jaden Short looked pretty good off halfback. Majority of kick-ins, large majority of them. So he did around 110. Maybe not last year, might have been the year before. And then about halfway through the year, maybe 2 months in, Dimmer threw him. Maybe it's 3 months in. Dimmer threw. So this was a year, just quickly. Hooley had retired, and a lot of us picked Jaden Short. He was really good when he was at halfback. Dimmer moved him in the midfield, maybe around halfway through the year, something like that. And he wasn't great for us. He's now back in that halfback role where he belongs. And he showed that in that time, without Hooley, it's a long time ago now, he was averaging 110. So there's no reason why he can't do that again. I would argue, I'd be concerned that last year, from memory, it was 3 soft tissue injuries, including like a hammy and a calf, 3 separate occasions. And for someone that's been so durable, I guess it's a bit odd, but that is enough for me. Plus the buy, I won't be going there. I can see the appeal though. He'll outdo his price. He's priced at, I think, mid to low 500s. He can outdo that for sure. So he looks good. I think he can do 100 plus, 105 plus. Taranto, honestly, didn't really take much notice of Taranto. It was okay. Bolton was really good. I don't know what the role is going to look like exactly, but I don't think the CBA, I think maybe like half the CBAs from memory. We'll get to who else took the CBAs, but not a starting pick for me with the buy as well and uncertainty of CBAs. Baker had sort of low time on ground, but his CBAs were low. They said that he was going to play, was training as a midfielder. The CBAs just don't exist for him. You know, Taranto, Bolton, Dow's getting CBAs. Dusty can go in there. Hopper was awful, but he can go in there. Prestia as well. It's just Prestia low tog. I don't see how he gets the CBAs. So he's a no for me. What else? Yeah, Thompson Dow getting a little bit of buzz. Scored 96, low fantasy points, just 57. So I thought there's a bit to like with Dow, and there's some issues as to whether he can actually be a future piece for them. I think they'll play him early and he'll get every opportunity. Seems like he's improved on whatever his output was last year. His VFL numbers are quite low. 72 fantasy average. I don't know what SuperCoach average he has. I don't have access to that, but a 72 VFL average is not very high for a mid. For example, like a Finn McRae's in the 90s, Charlie Lazaro's 110, James Jordan's 126, just off the top of my head. And they're mids, so I don't know if he played wing or whatever, but I assume that's inside mid, and his fantasy game, his tackle count is quite low. Mark count is quite low, so I don't know if he has much outside game. Doesn't seem like it. But his stoppage work is good. He moves well. He's able to get clearances. I think they'll play him, and I think he can average, I don't know, maybe 80. I think, just because of the contested ball that he can win. So there's a bit to like there. He was better than Hopper, for sure. So they got a bit of an issue on their hands if Hopper can't improve. I think Hopper had excuses last year, but not this year with a full preseason. So Dow is one where if you want to fit him in, I think that's fine. The ceiling is capped if he can't fix this outside game, and it's a low sample size. I don't know if that's been fixed for him. I think this is break evens, right? Yeah, this would be break evens. Break evens 45. That's pretty nice that they got that there. I don't know if that's DT or SuperCoach though. So, look, he'll outdo his price. He'll make money. He can probably make 100 to 150k. I think he can make 150. Just can you fit him into your structure? I'm not going to move mountains to get him in, but there's a bit to like, but there's a few concerns here. And we'll know in round 0, 82 time on ground. If he has no outside game, I don't know if he has a massive tank or not. So keep an eye on the time on ground, because we saw Bruin last year had in the mid 80s time on ground in the practice game and getting benched twice a quarter in the real stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in Thompson Dow, just keep your eye on the time on ground in round 0. Naismith was really good around the ground, follow up. Tab work was good. I liked him. He can ruck. I owned him for 2 weeks before he did his ACL, and he was good, but obviously the durability's been pretty rough for him, but he's got through most of the VFL season last year. Nank is a little bit of mixed messages, like hoping he'll be. I've read that he's hoping he'll be available early. There's another. They interviewed him and he said he's expecting to be there around 0 or something like that. So I don't know what the availability looks like for Nankervis, who's plantar fascia or fasciitis or whatever it's called that he has at the moment, which is an injury that can linger. I think we saw Nat Fyfe might have had that last year or the year before or something. So it's a tough one to get over. So that's something to monitor. Do they play Naismith and Nankervis, or do they play Nankervis and Ryan? Who I think Ryan's okay. So that's something we'll monitor. If he's named if he plays round 0 and he plays round 1 with Nank, I think I'll just pick him. And I guess at this point we've got a week or two to figure out what the timeline on Nank is, and hopefully we can understand that and we'll go from there. So one I can't really answer right now, but hopefully we'll know pretty soon. Dusty was solid. It's just Dusty. He's cruising. So would I pick him? The role is not going to be stable enough for me, but we saw how good he was back of last year. I just prefer Flanders. More likely to maintain a decent CBA role, but we could see Martin more in the midfield. But got to remember, had a hamstring earlier this year and is 32, 33, something like that. So prefer to go for the younger up and coming. But he looked good. Yeah, Hopper, not really going to say much Hopper. Might be a draft one, but that was an awful game from him. Clangers and missing handballs. 27 Supercoach for a full game is from 23 touches. That's as bad as I've ever seen. Tom Brown, I honestly didn't take much notice of Tom Brown. Rookie down back, not sure. A bit of Tog. To be honest, yeah, I don't know. Maybe ask Richmond supporter that. I did take notice of Gibcus. He was good. It's a key defender, so the intercepts he can intercept, and the intercepts will come sometimes, and sometimes they won't. So monitor. I think we'll monitor what the other defenders look like, because I think we'll get a few good defenders, or by good I mean decent job security. So we've got Zach Reed back there. Caulfield's, I'm not sure his job security is perfect, but I think he's in front of a few others. Might be performance based, so I think we'll expect to see Caulfield at that price. Howe's played tonight, we'll get to him. Don't know about his job security though. And Toby Pink I think will play from what I've read, but they've got a few other young guys that could play there. So there's a bit of, I think Gibcus is the best one of the lot, and yeah, best job security along with Reed. So, but you got to pay that extra money. So he's fine. He looks good. He looks really fit as well. So that's positive for him. Been to Qatar and stuff like that. I think that's about it. Steely Green came on late. Probably no go. I'm not sure he's best 22 off that. And this guy, I think apparently this guy kicked like 20 goals in a game or something in some league. So LeFou. So yeah. So out of this game, I think the main thing is Thompson Dow looked okay, but not without his issues. Dacos is going to be hard to pass up, and yeah, whatever else I spoke about. So this game I think I put Dacos back in. I kind of knew I'd cave, and you think about the buy and Finn McGuinness and stuff like that, but then you think about, well, what if he just goes nuts and he's like, you can't get to him. So we'll get to Melbourne versus Carlton now. I liked Melbourne's game. I thought it was interesting. The commentary was saying, starting off, Carlton were moving the ball pretty slow, and then we saw Melbourne move a bit quicker, and then as the game went on, opened up a bit, we saw Carlton move it a bit quicker, and they looked a lot better when they were doing that. But regardless, we'll get into the team. I think there's a lot more relevance on Melbourne and not a lot on Carlton. So with Carlton, obviously Sam Walsh is missing. You can't go there with the back issues, no way. So I put a line through him for now and just monitor him throughout the year, but that back's always going to be a worry now. Zach Williams played in the VFL. I don't think he'll play round 0. I don't have intel or anything like that. It's just, it feels like surely he would have played today in the ones rather than VFL. If they're going to they play in like a week or so. So surely they play him in the ones team before they actually play him in the round 0 game. But yeah, probably got through the VFL. I watched Blue Blues Abroad or Blue Abroad YouTube channel, which has great stuff for Carlton. And one of the guys was saying Williams was busy early, but didn't see much of the ball later in the game. So maybe like this is just one first hit out in a very long time. So you forgive. It's just, what does his availability look like? I don't think he'll be there round 0. And if he's there for round 1, then he has the bye, then he has another game, and then in that round 4 he'll get the price rise. So you could have players that have had like 2 price rises by the time Williams plays, if Williams were to play round 1. So you could just trade into him and get money out of a rookie or something. Maybe you just start and you don't have to worry about trading. I don't know, but I'd like to see something on Williams, and that report wasn't the most encouraging to me, but we'll see. But yeah, moving on, George Hewitt was actually pretty good. Liked his game, but it's a bit of a weird one, weird price. Midfield slots are pretty hard to come by. Competing with like a Wines and Matt Crouch and Nick Martin and Carl Amon. I think they're all, not sure about Wines, but I like the others better than George Hewitt. But we know Hewitt at his best can be a 110. Chera didn't notice much, not really. I haven't really put too much thought into Chera or Cripps. Ollie Hollands had a big preseason, but yeah, sort of wing role, so not much relevance. And yeah, this is sort of boring. I guess Newman, I saw Newman around, but I didn't really take much notice of his role. So I didn't really keep a close eye on him. Just a bit older, and I don't know what his output's going to be this year with Williams coming back into the team, plus the bye. I think he's a pass, and if he looks good again and he has that same role as last season, he can be an upgrade target. But for me, I'll pass on that and pick a few of the younger guys. Didn't notice much of Elijah Hollands. Orazio Fantasia, he was looking electric early. He was selling candy on the wing and went for a dash through the middle and looked really good. And that was in quarter 1, and didn't really see him since. So missed a lot of footy. You can forgive. Am I going to pay 170k for him? Probably not. So, I mean, he's capable, but he's missed so much footy. Worth noting, Motlop came off early with I can't remember, lower leg maybe issue. I don't know what it was exactly. I don't think it looked too serious, but they just pulled him off, maybe conservative. Now Melbourne, this is what I'm keen to discuss. Max Gawn, if you're thinking of fading Max Gawn, I don't think you are anymore. He reminded us what he can do as Solar Rock, pretty much destroyed TDK. So, yes, I know people have toyed with maybe they go up to Marshall without the bye. I've seen 1 or 2 English owners. I've seen a bit of Cherry, seen a bit of Naismith. If you want to do something fancy in the ruck, it's not Gawn that you're going to be fancy with, because solo ruck, I guess the issue with him is, can he handle the load at 32 for the whole year? Not sure. We'll see how he goes, but he's just going to put monster scores, and he's a VC option for sure. So he's in and locked and not moving. Sparrow was pretty good. They need him to have a big season, and yeah, I don't really know much else on Sparrow, but he looks good. Not really a household name, but with the no Brayshaw and uncertainty over Oliver, he'll be more in midfield this year. Worth noting, Oliver was in the crowd, apparently played well in the VFL. Don't know when he plays, but you know, if he's playing VFL, he can't be that far off the AFL team. So I guess not sure what that what that means for others like a Petrarca full-time and stuff like that, but it's good to see Oliver, and I don't know what sort of Oliver we'll get. Like, are we going to get peak Oliver? Are we going to get like 70% of what he was? I don't know, but we'll see. But not a starting pick, and I'll watch. Salem played midfield. He was good. So if you've got a draft, bump him up your order. You'll get that. I think he's a defender. He's a midfielder now. I think they've got Blake Howes in his role, who didn't do a lot, but yeah, not sure. We'll get to Howes soon, but look, I liked his game. His ball use was good. 9 tackles, tackled a lot. Ball use was good too. So I do like, I don't mind him. I think he's 420k, probably a bit too expensive. I would take him over Elliot Yeo for sure. Just, I guess Salem Stribili is not that not that great either. But there's an article late last year about Salem. The article headline was he's hell-bent on getting back to playing good footy. He's had like a thyroid issue. He's had knee issues. So he's had so many issues, but he looked really good in the midfield. So not one I'll pick. And obviously with Oliver coming back in, you got actually I wouldn't pick him, but you've got Oliver, you got Petrarca, you've got Sparrow, you got Viney, Salem. Maybe they want to roll Pickett through there. There's too many names. I don't know what the CBA count will look like every week, but yeah, I wouldn't pick him, but he looked good in the midfield, so hopefully that continues for him. Jack Billings I liked. Not a high disposal game, but is damaging. Was able to take... should have kicked 2 goals, but no, he looked good. He's able to link up really well and just gets the ball in good positions to use it. So you got to remember, I think he had 60 shots on goal a few years ago and was very inaccurate, but he's done 80 to 90 for many seasons, and obviously living in the shadow of Bont, given he was taken before Bont, but there's a lot worse top 3 picks than Jack Billings. So he's had some issues. I think a really bad broken leg, a few hamstring issues that followed. So hopefully he's all good now, and he's had a full preseason. It sounds like, as far as I'm aware, and he's best 22. So he's been locked in my team for a while, and he's not moving. So given. This is for another video, but I think the forward rookies, I was hoping to get away with a really cheap forward line. I'm losing a lot of confidence in the forward rookies. Like Harley Reid, I'm not sure on. I'm not sure. I think Manor might be behind like a Dempsey. We'll get to Laurie as well in a second. Like Windsor was good, but how much is he going to score? Not a big junior scorer, but looks really good. Like Nick Watson, do you really want to pay for a small forward? Like, I don't know, there's fair bit of uncertainty. Like Darcy Jones for the Giants is not playing this week, and like Cadman averaged 20 last year. What's he going to average this year? Is he best 22? A lot of uncertainty over forward rooks, and I think we might have to end up paying, which is annoying. So we'll try and figure something out there, but I do like Billings, and he's very cheap, so there's no way I'm not picking Billings. Petrarca started really well, had some really poor clangers early, which hurt him, and I think he sat most of the 4th quarter. So he looks great. If you're keen on Petrarca, I wouldn't be afraid to pick him. I think I've toyed with Petrarca in the team, but if you're already paying for Bond, and he has the buy as well, and the CBAs might not be there when Oliver comes back because they like him forward a bit too. So I think he can do 120 plus, but I think you're probably safer going elsewhere with someone without the buy, just in case like your CBA's dropped like 50% or something. But he looks good. He looks fantastic. So it's a good game from track. Yeah, it did slow in the second half, but like it's whatever. It's a practice game. So Laurie, 17 touches. He's okay, and just at a quick glance, looking at their best 22, so Howe's upwards. Like I go through every name. Like Windsor will play on the wing. Shaki's at backup ruck. He actually played okay. Looking at all these names, who comes out for Clayton Oliver? I think it's Laurie. That would be my guess. Unless you're thinking somebody else and like they restructure or something, but like take out a forward. I don't know, but I think he comes out for Oliver and he could be sub. He did some okay things, like he was half forward, pushing up high, running into stoppages. Was able to help set up a few goals, some good efforts there. So I think he'll outscore Windsor. Just Laurie's a better scorer in VFL. I think he's 3rd or 4th year in the system as well. So I think Windsor's like not a massive accumulator in the under under 18s comp. Whereas I think Laurie did 90 in the VFL or around that. So Laurie's definitely better scoring power, but sub risk, and Windsor probably has the wing now that we know that Hunter's out for the short to medium term, it seems. So, geez, I think he's going to be sub. We'll get to know round 0 for sure, and we'll assess then. But He could be sub, and if they get an injury, he could play. But yeah, he would be my guess for the sub. So yeah, him and Finn McRae, I think, will be sub in round 1, but that's just a guess. And yeah, Windsor was 77. He scored. DT's not high. I think he sat most of the fourth quarter. He looks really good. Both of his goals were fantastic. They were running, sprinting away from his opponent, and then to steady and kick the goals. Amazing goals. So if you're a D supporter, you'd be stoked with Windsor. Looks a great prospect. And what's he going to score this year? Well, given his under 18 numbers, probably not a lot. Like, I've seen some people in Discord were saying, oh, he could be like an Ollie Hollands. I don't think so, because Holland's scoring was much higher in the VFL, or in under 18. So I don't think he has as much scoring power as Ollie Hollands did last year. But look, he looks really good, and I think he has good job security. You got to always be careful with these 18-year-olds because they can slow down, and it is a practice game. So yeah, the speed and his ability to sort of run into space was really good. Just didn't seem to find a lot of the ball. But yeah, started hot, started really good, and then yeah, sat the fourth. So could he be subbed off? Potentially. You can see, like, looking at the whole team, who's getting subbed off here? Maybe a Toll? Howes? I don't know. I feel like Windsor could be subbed. And yeah, and then they had in the fourth quarter a whole bunch of players come on. I don't know who this is. Oh, Tom McDonald. I honestly didn't really take much notice of them. So that's pretty much it. I've got Windsor in my team at the moment, but I'm completely fine fading him. But he looks really good, and the job security is kind of nice. So, and I think they get an early price rise playing round 0 as well. So that's kind of nice, assuming they score enough. What's the break even say? 31. Yeah, he'll beat that. But yeah, not going to kick 2 goals every game. So yeah, anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll review all the games, and I've put a watch list together. I just haven't got around to doing the video, but we'll get to that soon. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.